everyone, and welcome to episode 10 of the HeartSpace podcast with myself, Jasmine, and my beautiful co-host, Alicia here.
Kia ora, guys.
And today we have a very special guest on, Carlene Hereora, who I had the privilege of interviewing last year and sharing her wonderful story, very touching story of how her journey began. So if you haven't seen that already, go check out that interview on Awakening with Jazz. But welcome, sister. I'm so glad you're here today. How have you been?
Mauri ora e te whānau, tēnā koutou katoa, mihi a tātou, tēnā hari ko nākau, tō wairua, and just very, very grateful for you both, for this platform, for this moment, to raise awareness about our kaupapa and our hikoi. So happy as to be here.
Oh, awesome. And it's always an honour and a privilege to have you on because you're doing such great work. I think you're the one person, or one of the main people within our country that is bringing awareness to child trafficking in such a huge way. And it's so important that we keep having these conversations and keep educating people about what's really going on. So do you just want to let everyone know about what work you've been working on recently and what have you been up to?
So since Wellington, we actually took a bit of time off to recover. A lot of people that contributed and attended the big occupation, the historical occupation of our Parliament grounds at the beginning of the year. We took some time out after that. I think we had about 2 months break, and in that time I got to refocus and think about the next step and where we're at in the world, what's going on in our own country, and really making sure that whatever the next big step was, that it was going to be one step away from the end game, where our children are concerned, and bringing about solutions to the issues that we're going to hikoi around and share. So planning this hikoi, it's actually been a whole year in the making. We were supposed to do this hikoi last year, but for whatever reason, I believe it's all divine timing. We're not on our time, so I'm just going through the motions to get to this point, knowing that everything had already been set. The foundations had already been laid with the previous 2 hikoi we had done. So I knew that by the time we got to this point, I was going to make sure that whatever we were going to go out and share, it was going to have an impact, raise more awareness, but also start gathering the people that's needed to end this, to really bring it into it, and to rebuild what we call a child and family welfare service. Totally focused on the protection of our children and their future.
That's wonderful. And it's such an important time in history right now, because I think more than ever people are waking up to what satanic ritual abuse is, what adrenochrome is, what child trafficking is. This is something that was all kept in the dark, hence the name of the hikoi, Dark to Light. And so what are you hoping to bring in terms of awareness with this whole hikoi to the public?
I think for the last 2 years, we've been quite gentle in our approach and really showing people, especially in our own country. I can't do much about the rest of the world. So I want to focus in on our country, our people, and presenting it is probably the key to this. Because the first hikoi we done, I was very green, freedom fighter, no finesse whatsoever, no structure whatsoever, nothing, just a concerned auntie, sister, parent, for our children, and I wanted to just voice it, just get it out of me, because I couldn't hold it in anymore. Like, this is a real issue and no one's talking about it, and I can't hold this shit in anymore. So the first decoy was me with a megaphone just running my mouth on street corners. Just didn't give a shit what was coming out of my mouth. And through that experience, I realized that people weren't quite connecting with that kind of push. So creating this hikoi was about putting together the full picture, a whole story of the real hard stuff that is in your face, but there are people who have lived through it in our country, like people that know about the organ harvesting, people that know about adrenochrome being produced here, people that know about tunnels and dams, people that know about children being rescued in big numbers. All of this shit, the people involved in it, really going to them and giving it to them on a platter to the point where they can't deny it anymore, and hopefully they're moved to do something, to just stand up and go, is this really what governance is all about? About dumbing us down, manipulating us, distracting us, so that they can steal our children, torture the shit out of them, do all kinds of evil things and get away with it. And allow them to run the rest of our lives and provide us with everything we need, and not own a damn thing and be happy about it.
That agenda.
Who wants that? Who wants that?
It's I'm really glad that you're doing this hikoi, and I hear what you're saying about the way that, you know, you're standing on the corner just not giving a shit, just, you know, getting it out there, because it's a way that we release as well. It's you know, when we know all this, we just have it all built up inside of us, and then it's funny because, like, even I've realized that sometimes it's just the way that we're delivering it. You know, if there's no structure, if we're just coming out with it because it's so built up, people just hear us yelling, but they don't hear the words, they don't hear the message. So I'm really excited for this hikoi and what awareness it's going to bring. And because you've worked so hard towards this and the structure, I feel like it's going to have a huge impact, and it's going to be great. I think people also, we've been doing this, you know, all of us have had, like, been trying to spread this awareness, and I feel like it's time now to be, you know, we need to, like, say it how it is. People need to hear the truth. No more what I would call pussyfooting around anymore. The message needs to be heard, but raw, hard facts. That's what I see, and it's time. Definitely.
You know, the government's still rolling out with their agenda, their New World Order agenda. So we kind of have to, you know, not be aggressive about it, but again, like Carlene said, have a bit of structure to it, a bit of finesse, I guess, because when it's raw emotions and we're spilling it out, people don't receive it well. And, you know, I'm excited to see, you know, what awareness and education this brings to the public of New Zealand, because it is something we've been speaking out about since 2020 now, for two whole years. You know, it's gone so fast, and it's something that is still at the core root issue of the matter. You know, the government is getting away with, you know, the major atrocities, you know, and who are they to continue to tell us how to live when they're doing this in the dark? So I'm so grateful for people like you, very brave and courageous people like you who are doing the mahi, bringing the awareness, and everyone else who is involved. So who, in terms of other organisations involved in this hikoi, who else is helping you out with it?
So we've got a team of about 30 all over the country working on this. We've got a coordinator for each town that we're going to. So 23 coordinators. Actually, make it 25 because we've got 2 events in 2 areas. So 25 coordinators, a content manager, I guess. We've managed to put in place a proper committee with a proper chair, proper secretary, proper treasurer for accountability and transparency purposes. We've all seen previous freedom movements get hammered for things like their financial records, and who's who in the zoo and running the show. So making sure we had that in place. So that team, that's what, there's about 40 of us all up. And we also have Families for Justice who deal with shitty ass cases based on injustice by oranga tamariki and family court, as well as police. Then we also have Not One More Child, who deal in child sex trafficking and prevention of online content to do with child abuse. And then we have the survivors of abuse in state care, who are survivors that have given testimony within the Royal Commission of Inquiry into state care abuse. And then we have the SRA International Alliance, which are a group of survivors and advocates for satanic ritual abuse, and healing programs and sanctuaries. And we have Waka Aroha, which are a new group that have come on board that are based around the reconnection of self to source. Call it wairuatanga, to do with all of those things, reconnecting you to your ukaipo, your roots, your whānau, your hapu. And we've only come across them in the last 3 weeks. And the magic that happened when we connected, 3 sisters are involved in creating this waka, and they live in different areas of Aotearoa. Who else? I think that's about it, really. Everyone else
shout out to them. Big shout out
individual.
Amazing. And how will each event roll out in each city? What is it going to look like?
So it looks like it's a 3-hour presentation. It's in 3 segments. The first segment is pretty much myself and Amy giving an overview of our journey getting into this realm, and opening up the eyes of people to what's been happening in our country based around all the things that we're raising awareness on, giving them guidance on how to find this information. It's all there, what's happened in our country, but people don't know where to look.
It's
so well hidden. And when things are released on mainstream media, they're drowned in all the other stuff, all the other distractions. So it gets lost in all the mess. So helping them to focus in on key areas to keep an eye on, where statistics are concerned, evidence of crimes that have already taken place. These are big crimes too, not just little pedophilia. And that sounds terrible because it's bad, but there is way worse crimes that have taken place where the information is there, but no one's talking about it because they don't know where to find it. So that's the first part. The second segment is testimony from survivors and from expert witnesses. I'm not talking about the uncle over the fence who heard. I'm talking about people who have put themselves forward in a court or put themselves in a compromising position with the evidence that they have to share. So that is amazing. I'm looking forward to people sharing that, because people are going to connect more when it comes from a survivor with lived experience.
Yeah.
When you see and feel and hear their story, their trauma, it makes a really big difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think another key thing you said there is people don't know where to find the information. So it's great that you're going to have those resources for people, because like you said, it gets drowned out by the media or not mentioned at all. Things are so hidden and people don't know where to start. So many people will be new to the word adrenochrome too. Like people don't even know what that is. And when you do find out what that is, it's kind of like, mind-boggling.
Confronting. Yeah. It's confronting because when you know it,
and it sounds crazy too.
And when you know what it is and how it's produced, you are then responsible. You're responsible to do something about the production of that being stopped because of what it entails.
Yeah.
And it's no, people know that abuse has taken place in these, child facilities. So you can't deny that, but I think people don't know the extent of the abuse and the even deaths that have taken place over the years with these so-called helping agencies, and it's atrocious. So
it's kind of like an out of sight, out of mind kind of scenario. And I also just want to say I like the fact that you're going to bring awareness and sort of give a guide on how to find this information, because then there's no excuse. There's no excuse anymore. So that's really, I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and the choice that this day and age. Sorry, sis, what were you saying?
I was just going to say the last segment is hopefully what I believe is the solution. Is a solution, not the solution. It's a solution. It's a solution that can be altered. It's a solution that can be contributed to. It's a solution that it's 2 years worth of fighting to find answers, looking for the right people to put in place.
And in your opinion, what do you think the solutions are?
The solutions are returning back to our roots. For us as Māori, returning back to our whenua, our family, our marae, our hapu. You look at, this is a prime example, when our state care or oranga tamariki uplift the child, they remove the child from their whenua and they put them on a whole nother island. Some of these kids, they've been removed from the North Island and put in the South Island. One of our testimonies is coming from a father who had 3 of his children taken from Northland and moved to the Bluff.
Wow.
There should be no excuse. There's no excuse for that. That father and that mother have brothers and sisters, first cousins. There's got to be immediate family within our rohe that can keep our tamariki. Another thing that I want to change is removing the child from their home. Remove the problem, not the child.
Thank you.
Agree.
Thank you.
Educate the parents. Get the parents in some parenting courses. I think the main goal should be to keep the family unit together. But straight away, they're resorting to ripping children away from the parents. It needs to start within the home first.
Yeah, that's right. And these family group conferences that family court hold as a pathway to solutions and rehabilitation. It's an absolute joke.
Yeah,
parents go in there. The counsellors tell them what to do, and then send them out to go and do it. They're not providing the care that needs to be taken from the beginning of the crime to the end of sorting everyone out, the whole family, sorting the whole family out. Like you said, working on the mum and dad, whoever's got the issue. There's a lot of community work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Use that to help them refocus by helping them ground themselves back on their own whenua, giving back to their community, giving back to their family, and the family being there to support them and take care of the other needs that need to be taken care of while they're focusing on themselves.
Absolutely.
And that's what family's for. You don't remove a child, split the family, give them all different kinds of rehabilitation in different areas. That
it's very traumatic for the child too, you know.
I was just going to say that, Jazz. I was going to say, well, that would be just creating more trauma for the child as well, having them uplifted and put into a home.
But it's on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly.
Break the family unit. It's part of the agenda.
Yeah.
Break
well,
the
it is.
family unit. Have them dependent on the state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they need it. The whole system needs to be looked at. And like you said, it needs to go back to more community focus, whānau focus. And yeah, I totally agree with that. It's just heartbreaking hearing some of these stories that come out. And what kind of support can we offer people, or do you know that's out there, if just in case someone's watching this and they're in a tight situation, where can they go for help that are actually going to help them? Do you know what I mean?
It's a hard one because a lot of these agencies that are out there promoting rehabilitation or whatever, we can't trust them anymore because they're attached to a system under the guidance of a governorship that is completely designed to fail the people.
Absolutely.
It's about reaching out to family for now.
Yeah.
What we're looking for, hopefully we'll find on this journey, professionals that have maybe been mandated out of their job, who have been involved and had experience in counselling. I mean, we do have a few there, but for anyone like that who wants to contribute, we've got a big country. We've got a lot of families to help. We've got a lot of babies to help. So we need a lot of people to build this whare, to recreate our child and family welfare service. So that would be great if we can get the message out and holler at those people like, haere mai.
Yeah. Well, see, like, that's the thing, Carlene, like, as you know, I was doing my degree, my counselling degree. And when I learnt about all this stuff, and learning that, there's protocols that we have to take if we feel that a child is at risk and all that kind of stuff. And when I started learning about OT, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I will be put in such an ethically under the government. I'll be breaching my ethics and morals by not bringing an OT and all that kind of stuff. But then within myself, my own morals, knowing what OT is like, I would never want to put a child into that. So because they did introduce the mandate even to continue studying, obviously I've dropped out. I didn't want to bar of it. And I would say it's the best thing I've ever done. I've learned that more counsellors and all that, over the last couple of months, I've learned that even counsellors, these counsellors can't be trusted. Not all of them, but there's a lot that are working within the system, in the government system, that cannot be trusted whatsoever. And they're not actually helping these people. In fact, they're actually re-traumatizing these people. And so I agree with people that are awake to what's going on, that have had experience or, being a counsellor, a therapist and all that kind of stuff, but are not working within the system. They want to actually change the system, then definitely, haere mai, like, we need those people. And so for me, that is something that I would love to look towards in the future, because we need to help these people in a way that is from love, that we genuinely care, and we're not going to just pick them up and throw them out, you know, and put them back into a situation that is just going to be worse off, basically. Yeah.
And it happens. It really does happen. But with counselors and psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors, they're all programmed to do the same thing. It's like a mechanic. They're not going to fix your car so that it never breaks down again, because otherwise you're not going to go back to get it fixed again and spend more money again. That you don't make money off well people.
No.
So you keep them, you give them enough, but not enough that they have to come back. They have to keep coming back. Like with medication, like with these JABs, you know. Oh, now we've got to have another one. Got to have another one. Got to have another one.
Yeah.
And there's a cure. There is a cure where you don't have to have any of that stuff, but you don't see them promoting that.
No, you don't.
And it's crazy. Now we've got the whole monkeypox bullshit happening and circulating, and it's like, when is it going to end? And I feel like the more that keeps coming out, people are awakening, though, to, you know, it's just getting a bit ridiculous now. And
no, wait, there's apparently tomato flu in India.
I actually caught a bit of breakfast this morning, and one of the titles that comes across the bottom of the screen was man now accepts that he has to live with long COVID.
Oh my God.
What
does that even mean to me?
I was like, this is honestly the greatest show ever, but the hardest thing is to watch people still not get it.
I know. I'm struggling with that at the moment, I think. I'm struggling with that. I'm just like, I feel like mainstream media, like, they're just throwing it in our face now. Like, how many people are still going to buy the stupidity? And then when people do, I'm just like, are you serious? Are you serious?
I love my mother, but she's one of them. She buys into everything, and it's annoying. It really is. But I think too, a lot more people have woken up since 2020 because of everything that's been playing out. And I think it's just going to keep dripping out, because I think if it all just came out at once, imagine the psychological effects it would have on the public. You know, would have people committing suicide and just riots, all sorts. So the way
chaos.
It is, absolute chaos. But the way it's been dripped out, I'm hoping it's pantomime. I really do. I don't know for sure. So, you know, don't, you know, shoot the messenger. That's just what I'm hoping. But, you know, something has to give eventually. And it gets to a point where you cannot bury your head in the sand any longer, you know, especially when it comes to the darker issues. I think that's what really riles me up is, like, for example, we had this whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case playing out recently, and, you know, I'm absolutely sick of it, and we just, all the memes, and it's like, well, what about the Ghislaine Maxwell case, you know? Why wasn't that? It's just crazy, and people just need to stop. Well, not stop. What's the word? I think it's a lot of sheep mentality, you know, like just follow the herd of what's popular, you know, and it's just things are regurgitated over and over again, and it's not things that aren't important. Like I said, it's all distractions being played out, and, you know, the real core issue is the child trafficking at the end of the day. It always has been for me personally, and I know for you too, Carlene. You know, I think it's the biggest push for you to do what you're doing right now. Would you say that, sis?
Most definitely. And, you know, another thing that I hope comes out of this, I haven't seen a push like this anywhere in the world. And I would love it to be the spark that ignites a massive worldwide awareness campaign where groups start really getting out and doing that. That would help immensely. to wake people up. If the whole world is talking about it, where you can't deny it, where in every country people are hosting events to raise awareness about this issue, that would be
Are
pretty
you
amazing.
still connected with, I know you were working with other ladies that were around the world that were running a protest. I think it was the last one I went to with in Aotea Square in Auckland, that one particular protest. Are you still or in touch with those other ladies, and are they still raising awareness where they are?
Yes, Rise Up for Children Australia NZ and Truth, Justice, Freedom for Our Children, which is the sister Gabby Chung, who also advocates with Aquarius Rising Africa, and the SRA Alliance, which is the survivors and advocates that have come together from around the world. We still meet every Thursday night, 10 o'clock our time, and it goes for a couple of hours to create a program for specifically for SRA survivors, and taking the experience and wisdom from these wonderful people who have come out the other end with solutions to dealing with trauma. So we've put together a program that's based on the AA program, 12 steps to recovery, using that model and creating one specified for survivors of satanic ritual abuse, and implementing those into little groups. So now some of the survivors, especially in Australia, they're starting their own little meeting groups, like their little AA groups, and more survivors are coming forward. So one of our ladies, Lisa, she has a group of 6 survivors that she meets with every Sunday. Rachel Vaughan, who you can find on YouTube as well as Telegram, she has her own group on a Sunday, and I think they've got about 7 now.
Wow.
And that's survivors taking the lead on this to take care of other fellow survivors. And it's brilliant. And London, we have a group in London with Jeanette Archer, another massive survivor, exposing what happened to her through the royals and things like that. And then we have a group in New York as well. But the New York ones are 2 advocates who have created the space for survivors to come in. And they've got a couple.
I think that's so important that they've created these safe spaces. And not only that, they get to meet with other survivors and share their stories and not feel so alone. So that's so awesome. And that's what needs to keep happening, is just creating these little groups and support groups essentially for these survivors. So it's just amazing what is taking place. Like, even though there's this whole shitstorm happening around us, there is things happening. I think we the people are taking back our power, and we're realizing that we house the power within. We can create the change, and we need to bring the change if we want it. We can't just sit on our asses and complain about how the system is. We need to start stepping up now. And I think in the next couple of years, I'm hoping what is going to happen. We're going to see more people step forward, more of these groups created, more awareness being brought to the forefront. And we can, usher in this new earth, because I do believe there is a new earth on its way, and the old system is out. It's too many people are awake now. We're not going to just fall back asleep and forget about it, So, and I think too, creating platforms like this and that counteracts what the media is saying is very important. And it just needs to keep happening. We just need to keep pushing. And you're such a fighter, Carlene. I'm so proud of you and the work you've been doing. Like, regardless, because you've been getting a lot of controversy thrown your way, and
I love it.
Calling you all sorts of
honestly, it fuels the fire, because not that it's part of why I do it, but I love to prove people wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you can do that is actioning your words.
Yeah. 100%.
The intent behind every action you do and every word you say. And yes, the amount of controversy it honestly still blows my mind that people think the things they do, but I can't control that. I can only do what I'm here to do and focus on that and let them all figure it out for themselves in their own time. But when it comes to our tamariki, just stay out of my way. That's it.
Yeah. I love that. So,
Yeah.
So,
about that,
the hikoi kicks off tomorrow officially.
Yep.
Is that right?
Officially,
Where are you guys starting?
Gisborne, we have Pōwhiri tomorrow at one of the local marae down there at 11 a.m. And then Friday night, 6 p.m. And then Saturday night, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And the venues for the events will be released for each town 48 hours beforehand through our social media platform and through the people. It's going to take people power to move this information. We've already tried to put stuff up, taken down. Our email accounts have been hacked. Clouds come in, taken shit out. Our whole presentation that I had on file gone. So I've had to redo everything. Lucky I already had a template. I'm not tech savvy, so didn't have it saved to a hard drive or terabyte. Just had it stored on, just stored there and like push the button and there it is. No security. I don't think about that stuff. So
anything to try and prevent this from happening, but nah, man, that power's there. It's going forward regardless, no matter what happens. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Do you think this will gain media traction, like attention?
Hell no. If it does, it'll be only to justify them putting the hikoi of truth on their top 12 disinformation sources.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you that on here, just like for people that are sort of new to this and just becoming aware of the media manipulation and how they always tell bullshit. They will just make it seem that it is something negative. It isn't what it is. These people are crazy and all that kind of stuff. When in fact, that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, this is true. This is real. There's child abuse, the trafficking, all that is absolutely real. Satanic ritual abuse is real. And if the media just want to counteract that because they don't want the truth getting out. So this gains media attention. Just be warned. I just want people to know.
They're all shit.
I'll put that out of my mind. I'm not worried about that because as long as we get the message to the people, and that's why we have to take it to them, deliver it to them on a plate. Here it is, knife and fork, eat them up.
Hard out. Well, and where will you guys be finishing up? Where's your last
I will be finishing back up here in Northland, in the Bay of Islands. Nice. Kitty Kitty, I think Kitty Kitty is our last event. Not set in stone because a crew from Dargaville have reached out to see if we'd do an event down there. So this could be an ongoing thing. We might get asked to go to other towns.
It might evolve as you go too. Yeah,
it might evolve. That's right.
Yeah. Awesome.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here today, sis, and for your time and just bringing the awareness. It's so important. And I wish you all the best with this hikoi. We will be supporting you, by sharing this out and sharing the flyers and doing what we can on our end for sure. But much love to you and Amy. And I'm just so proud of this.
I just want to acknowledge Sorry, I just want to acknowledge everyone that is also doing the mahi in the background that are helping to get this hikoi all to, set in stone and on the road. And just big thank you to you and Amy for just staying so consistent with this journey. Because I remember back in I think it was in 2020, I remember when you guys first started speaking, and it really grabbed my attention and it opened my eyes. And no, you guys have just stayed very consistent with your message, and I just want to say thank you.
It's amazing too to watch your guys' journey and see how you guys have evolved yourselves through this journey. So beautiful. And I wish you guys all the best.
I love you, sisters, and just thank you very much.
Much love, sister.
Ka kite.
Bye.
Bye, guys.